lately it's been stuck on nurse, so
Maybe that's what she's gonna be, right?
With us
maybe.
about her motherhood journey. Hi, so last time you were on, that was last week, and you heard about my friend Natalia and her daughter. This week we pick up the story again for part two as Natalia continues.
You had an experience earlier this year where she was taking care of both you and your husband.
Mm.
Tell me about that experience.
It was kind of comical, but she she tried to give each of us the same amount of attention.
Aww.
She really tried, but she did it, excuse, to try to address our individual needs as opposed to doing the same thing to us,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it what what I learned from that is that she's very keen in her observational skills. So and she doesn't seem to think that one size fits everything.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks mommy needs this while daddy needs that. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was really interesting, and I was happy because sometimes people tend to think that everything will work, the same thing will work. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that she actually recognized that naturally without any prompting, without anyone having to explain it to her. She recognized that. So I was really, really happy. I mean, it was nice to know that someone cares for you, even though she really doesn't know
What to
exactly what
do?
to
Yeah.
do,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it was really heartwarming and reassuring as a parent that okay, I think I'm getting something right because she about other people.
Yeah.
It really it gave me that kind of reassurance
Mm-hmm.
that okay, as a parent, you may not check all the boxes, but at least you get some boxes checked.
All right. So just so that our viewers and listeners know, how old is Nalia?
Currently, she's sick.
6, and she's already demonstrating those skills and that openness and that compassion already.
Yes,
All right. So I'm betting you're a proud mom, right?
yes.
So what did you do to get ready for motherhood?
Um, I tried. I actually spoke a lot to women who had children before me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like a lot of my co-workers, already mothers, a lot of my cousins, because I actually come from a big family,
Yes.
and my mother is well, you could say considered one of the babies. So, as her child, we kind of the babies in the family compared to everybody. So, I actually have quite a number of female cousins that have had children many years before me.
Mm-hmm.
So I took all the advice.
What's the weirdest piece of advice that you got?
The weirdest.
Yeah.
Um, it was weird, but work.
Mm-hmm.
That was when she had now born and she wasn't latching on properly. One of my aunts, she's a baby nurse. She told me, strip, get naked, and
To
she was like, strip
breastfeed?
the child. Yes, she was like, get naked, get the child naked, just keep on the pampers. She say, and you put a sheet over you, let kind of swaddle her, but from outside, make sure you both inside the sheet and let her feel your skin. She say some children need that skin to skin touch. I was like, this crazy. She was like, get naked, take off all your clothes.
Okay. And you tried it?
And I did it, and it actually worked. It actually worked. She was able to latch on. She kind of like wrapped her hand around me, and
Mm-hmm.
her palm was open. So like anytime she would breastfeed, her palm would be open. I would feel it against my back or my side because she had no not really that long. All right. And yeah, and she with her other hand, she would play with my neck.
Aw.
Yeah. So that was it. From after that day, she was latching on good, and it was a good breastfeeding experience. Before that, it was frustrating because I was concerned that she was constantly hungry because she wasn't latching on,
Mm-hmm.
and that at first I was like, this is madness, right? But then I was able to make the adjustment,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I didn't think it's
Work.
gonna work, but yeah, it worked.
So that was a bit of advice, and I'm sure you have tips for other mothers. So I want you to give me your top three mom must-haves.
Oh, so true. First thing, lanolin.
What's that?
Lanolin is a nipple cream.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Yes, lanolin. I think I have a top one. Um, three. Secondly, I will say have an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
Having an open mind. Um, and thirdly, I will say let your rational brain make decisions,
Mm-hmm.
because from the time you are pregnant, everybody's going to give you advice. People who have children, people who don't have children, old people, young, everybody have a remedy. All the tanties in the village going to tell you what to do, what not to do. So I will say listen to the advice, but all the advice should not, all the advice should not sway your decision to the point where you listen, you're trying to do what everybody is saying,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because everybody isn't going to get it right, and everything isn't going to. So listen to the advice, but let your judgment be your guide, right? So rationalize the advice. Some advice it don't make sense. Some of it's worth a try.
Mm-hmm.
You understand, and it's good to when people give an advice, question them to understand exactly why this would work or why this would work. So I actually asked a lot of questions. Right, I'm really a people's person, so I actually had the privilege of talking to a lot of people like face to face to get my advice. A lot of people say read books. I'm probably still in chapter one of a parenting book currently. But I did a lot of reading online,
Okay.
right? So, but to say like a physical book that I haven't been able to finish one. I mean, and it's 6 years now. So,
Wow.
but I try. I follow a lot of studies, and
Mm-hmm.
I read, what the studies were done. There are actually a lot of studies concerning children and development that was done like in the 1950s, 1960s. That, strangely enough, are still very relevant today. And a lot of people will discredit it and discount it and say, well, that was since way back when. But the process of child rearing hasn't really changed, and
Mm-hmm.
child development hasn't really changed. I mean, you still have the same birthing process,
Mm-hmm.
right? That hasn't changed. All right.
But
So
push or you're gonna get cut.
exactly. So cesarean has been around for quite a number of years now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even it existed in the time that those studies were done, right? But I think reading a lot about studies and child development, it actually helps you to assess your child for yourself, and it gives you a better understanding, and you're better able to relate to the child. In my opinion, at least that's what worked for me, right? So when you understand like the developmental stage that the child is in, right? Oh, and what I found really, really helpful is figuring out the type of learner that your child is. It's understand
Could you say that again? I
type of
think you're
learner that
breaking up
your
a little
child
bit.
is. I said for me, what helps is understanding the type of learner that the child is.
Okay.
Once you get that early, it's actually a lot, and you understand the developmental stage that the child is in, right? To me, well, for me, that helped me a lot. So, like Natalia, she is an auditory and kinesthetic type of learner, right? So, when I'm teaching her, right, like being a kinesthetic learner, she needs a lot of breaks.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, she's really one of the top readers in her class right now.
Top readers.
Yes, right? And her teacher is very English. So, and she basically way ahead of the students. I actually had to kind of slow down the rate at which she was reading, because what was happening is she started to get bored in class.
Because she
Yeah.
basically was far beyond the material that they were teaching in class.
Yes. So I actually, because what I would do is I would say, okay, if I'm dedicating an hour to teaching, every 10 minutes or every 7 minutes, I give her a break.
Right.
5 minute break. I let her run, I let her do something physically engaging, because that's what kinesthetic need. They need a lot of breaks, and they need to physically engage their bodies.
How did you
Now, when
do
you
that assessment to find out the kind of learner your child is? You did what?
I found it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You have to share that video with me.
Yes, I'll get it back and I'll share it with you. There was this app that I used to track the development. So I downloaded it, and I think it's every 2 or 3 months you update it. So you actually track the development of the child. So you have to input what the child is doing, and they had it categorized. Social, cognition, learning.
You remember the name of the app?
Baby major steps.
Baby Major Steps.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So we have the
actually,
lanolin cream and we have
yes,
Baby Major Steps. And now you send me the YouTube video.
yes. So I think it was all in combination is what really helped me. I wouldn't say prepare, but handle all the newness of being a new mother.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't afraid to learn new stuff. Yeah, I really wasn't afraid, but I also wasn't going to listen to what everybody said at the same time. So, because some advice are like, got to be kidding me. That don't make no sense. Right? Like Caribbean people have this idea that you need to leave the child to cry. For no apparent reason. Like, got to be kidding me. I'm going to leave my child to just cry? For what?
So you have to teach them to be independent.
What? And Natalia is a very independent child.
But you didn't leave her to cry.
No, I did not leave her to cry.
Oh, did you do sleep training?
Pardon?
Did you do sleep training with her?
No. I did sleep training when she was in utero.
Oh.
And it worked. An old lady in traveling, she told me about it, and I tried it, and it worked.
How do you do that though? How do you sleep train in utero?
She stay every day at the same time. Once it's dark, you try and limit your physical movements, right? So, like, past 5 months, between the end of the second trimester and all of your third trimester, is difficult for you to.
Yes.
Because it's uncomfortable. So even though I was up what I did is I would lie still on the couch because that was the only place that was comfortable. I'd take a pillow, I'll put it over my belly so that it would be dark, and I would watch TV.
Okay, I didn't know
So,
if I knew that trick. Only
so
I knew that.
to her, now she would constantly be moving.
Yeah.
But what I later discovered is that she moves even in her sleep. So when she was born, she actually used to move. She had this way she used to move her hand. It used to look like a motor or rotor. And she would do that in her sleep. And she would do it so much that sometimes it would wake her up. So she actually used to move
Oh,
so much, she'd wake herself up.
my daughters do that, by the way. They do that too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know why. But yeah, so what me and my husband, we used to tag team. Like when we see her start to move so much, we kind of like hold her steady so that she wouldn't wake herself up. But she only woke up like once or twice during the night. She would feed and right back.
Wow.
So it was never, I never encouraged some people when they wake up like 12 o'clock to feed, they would go and play with the baby and no, and
Feed,
she would
miss.
fall.
Yes.
Yeah, she would feed, sleep, and go right back. So it was never. I never had to train her fully. She automatically knew, and I never. And that's another thing too. For me, during my pregnancy, I didn't have any crazy cravings. I didn't have all the crazy anything. It
Mhm.
was just normal. I had slight cravings, but it was never extreme to the point where you're going crazy if you don't get it. If I didn't get it, it was like, okay, all right, I didn't get it. So in the night, if I did feel hungry, I would just drink an ensure. And if I fall asleep after that. So because I was never, and that's what the lady told me. She said, whatever you do during your pregnancy is what the child is going to be accustomed to when it is they come out. She said, so if you're accustomed to eating all hours of the night, that's what the child is going to be accustomed to. She said, if it is you're up and you're moving and you're busy all hours of the night, she said that's how the child is going to be. So I took that advice and I was very still during the night. I got some nice series, TV series that I watched,
Mhm.
right? Some YouTube videos, some educational, some entertaining. I try to vary it up, have a nice mix, and but staying still and letting night be night and not eating all kind of thing 12 o'clock in the night, 1 o'clock in the morning. I think really worked. If it didn't work, then she was just naturally like that, and thank God for that.
So we're gonna be wrapping up now, and I just want you to share with the viewers and listeners what your wish is for Nalia.
Honestly, this is where me and Jesus have an agreement. I say I really want her to fulfill the purpose that God created her for. Right? To me, she's my miracle child because I was diagnosed with polycystic syndrome in 2009. Doctors told me that if I didn't get pregnant within the next 12 months, I wouldn't have any children unless I do the whole fertility treatment. And they said that would have been a hope if and a maybe. Right? So that's why I think I was so shocked when I did get pregnant
Wow.
because I didn't do any of that. Right? I didn't have consistent periods or anything like that. So for me, it really, and then too, I didn't have any extreme symptoms while I was pregnant. So it really was a shock. I think that was God's doing because it was planned, it literally just happened.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really want to, I believe that God gave contact us for a purpose, and I really want us to fulfill that.
Amen. Thank you so much, Natalia, for making the time to talk to me. I hope you enjoyed the
Yes,
time we shared.
definitely.
I really enjoyed your stories. I am going to download the app right after we finish. Thank you, listeners, for joining us this week. And we look forward to having you for our next segment next week. Don't miss it.